Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. That sounds really weird to say. I have completed my first week of my UX UI bootcamp, virtual bootcamp through UT in Austin. And I wanted to give an update on all the things that I have seen, heard, had, experienced over the last 7 days. So, we're gonna get started. I need like a little montage or something. Shout out to Connor for setting up my beautiful ring light here and my other little production lights and everything. So anyways, I had class last week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so 3 days, and thank you, got my banana. My lovely assistant in the background who set up the lights for me. Do you want to show your face real quickly? There he is. Thank you, Connor. So I had my first my first week of classes, and most of the class content was situated around understanding what UX UI was, understanding why we even engage in UX UI research, UX UI, just general content. So we did like an overview of just the field in general, who our professor was, and then we talked about proto-personas and quantitative versus qualitative research, things about finding like themes within that kind of raw data that we collect through the interview process or through the data collection process. Talked a lot about affinity diagrams and empathy maps and coming up with like an actual user persona based off of all of the information and the data that we collect over time. So a lot, honestly, at least from the first week, has been connected to my psychology background, so like the research, qualitative, quantitative research methods that I did a lot in undergrad. I think that very brief background has been helpful in understanding concepts, at least over the last week, which has been a little comforting because the content is, or at least the structure of the class is pretty fast-paced. And sometimes I feel like I'm kind of drowning just a little bit, just kind of treading water some days. So it's a lot of like going through the class, sitting there for 3 hours and reviewing the content, reviewing the recorded Zoom file that she has saved for us, and reviewing like content that, like supplemental content that they have. So yeah, it's been pretty good so far. A lot of content, a lot to digest, pretty fast-paced. But I also feel supported in the class, which is really nice. And even though it is a really large group of us, there's about 50 of us, even though there is a lot of us and it's a lot of content, I don't think it's not doable. So week 1 is done. No regrets yet. Knock on wood. Sorry, I really need a banana. I have 23 more weeks to see if I regret anything. But yeah, it's been pretty good. It's a lot of group projects, which is not something I really enjoy. I have a issue with releasing control, but I also know that UX UI is heavily team-based. So I better learn now. I do have to say that I think it's a lot better than therapy already. So yeah, that's a pretty promising outlook, at least, silver lining. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that has happened that's important. My job has led to a couple more challenges, unforeseen challenges, and so I don't know what's gonna happen job-wise for me, but I know that I can like see myself consistently finishing out this 24-week UX UI bootcamp, at least based off the content that I've seen so far. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Can't really complain about anything. My group partners are really nice. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Connor also started a bootcamp, but it's a digital marketing one, so we're taking classes together, which is kind of nice. It reminds me of when we were in grad school together, and college together too. He's whispering stuff to me in the background. So yeah, it's nice being able to do something like that with him, and we'll finally be doing something that's not exactly the same profession, so that'll be different. But yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. This week is all about storytelling and coming up with like user point of views and problem statements, and how do we statements? I think that's what she says. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Been adding a lot of people on LinkedIn and making sure my LinkedIn looks appropriate. And just trying to stay positive and jump into something that is different, very different from therapy, but a good different. Yeah. So I think that's everything for this week. I'm actually gonna try to be consistent with this YouTube thing. Definitely can't guarantee a particular weekly schedule, but every so often I'll do updates and stuff. So until then, I guess I shouldn't say follow me on Instagram, because I have people from my high school following me on Instagram, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Like I made an Instagram, and I didn't think that people would actually follow me or like pay attention to my social media. Or even look at my YouTube videos. I have like 8 views, which I'm like, not to toot my own horn, but toot. I don't know. People following me on Instagram makes me very anxious, on a level that I wasn't expecting, because it's like I made it so with the intent of someone following me. But yeah, don't know how I feel about that, so I'm not gonna say follow me. But I will put my Instagram at the very bottom of this, or at the very end of this, so if you do want to see me fail miserably over and over again until I figure out how to actually work Figma and Miro and whatever else I'm going to be using, GitHub I think is another one, you can watch me do that on Instagram at UI/UX Advocate. Trying to think if there's anything else before I close this out. My banana. Yeah, I think that's it. Have a good night. I'll see you next week.